Morning, everybody. Wait for people to log on. I tagged Lars Johansson in this. He's a longtime follower. So eventually he'll see it, or maybe he's up this morning and he'll log on. I'm just going to let everybody get on. Sorry, I made an earlier video and I tried to use the camera the other way, but the flashlight's coming on now. I don't know, something wrong with the Facebook Live, or I got to re-upload the program. I don't know. A lot of funny things with my phone lately. See, people are coming on. Hi, Terrace. Buster, right on. Jerry, people are coming on now. Glenn, right on. So I'm hoping Lars will jump in here, but if he doesn't, he doesn't. He's followed me for a long time, everybody. It's been years, actually, since the Fike U group on Facebook. For those of you who've been around a long time, I haven't seen too much of Fike, but I actually worked on the rigs with him many years ago when I was a young man. We hadn't talked, but he had started this Facebook group. I don't even know the status of that, but me and Lars met through there a number of years ago, and we've stayed friends, and odd time he chimes in, and I'm a little bit worried about his narratives of late. He seems to really be down, and I want to address that first before I get into this, which is really important. Lars, I know it gets frustrating. I know where you're at. So many who've been at this so long are completely in the tank on things, and it feels hopeless. I haven't quit what I'm doing. I'm just, and I'll get into that with this video, but I'm holding back right now, everybody, from sending that letter to the Queen. I know I said I was going to do that, because sometimes it's like fishing, everybody, okay? And I don't always explain myself or the motivations for what I do, but I do absolutely do what I do to get results. Now, I fail quite a bit. As an average citizen, I fail quite a bit. But for those 1 out of 10 times when I am successful, it always pays off and it keeps things going. I'm holding back with the Queen right now because, like I said, it's like fishing. I'm throwing that line out there and I'm letting organizations, groups, government, or government in power, or opposition parties take that line out, go, and they think they got away, and then I'm going to pull the hook when I know I'm going to reel that fish in. You know what I mean? That's the best I can say right now without getting into too many details. But for example, we're going to get into the National Post now, and I made a little post before this video, and I put 2 articles, one from Conrad Black, and then today's follow-up post. The National Post doesn't say who wrote it, so I would suspect the editor did as kind of a follow-up glazing over, because Conrad obviously went out a little too far, and it's upsetting to me. It shows the absolute autocracy supported by none other than our mainstream media, and that's troublesome. That's troublesome. Conrad exposes exactly what we all see, and with the mainstream media, that they have biases, extreme biases, and that's absolutely against your average citizen. It's an institutional bias, a paid bias, established by absolute foreign interests, foreign powers, which is not legal in this world today. And to flaunt it in our faces, for a person like myself, doing the work I do, to flaunt it right in my face, like, screw you, I'm an autocrat, what are you going to do about it? Freedom of the press. And it's like, you're supposed to be impartial. You're supposed to have a duty to report the news as it is, not your personal feelings, or absolutely not of feelings of foreign interests that run you, that pay you, or government attached to foreign interests who absolutely pay for your stories. And when I see that, and I share that out to all of you, it's absolutely what drives us, the public, to start going fake news media, because it is biased. And that was an extremely biased story. For any of you who missed Conrad Black's story on Governor General Payette, wow, first-class citizen, right to oppress. Like I said in the title, freedom of the press or freedom to oppress, because that's what the media is doing. and supporting absolute autocracy and bragging about it to boot and telling us how great and wonderful it is. That's not any kind of freedom of the press. That's freedom to oppress. That's paid people to write stories bragging about an absolute autocracy over the people. If you haven't read that story by Conrad Black, look it up. National Post. Look up Governor General Payette. It's only 24 hours old. Not even. I think it's about 16 hours old. And again, a follow-up from the National Post without a writer to really kind of minimize the impact of that story. Write an official, National Post opinion or whatever. And either way, absolutely disgusting. And you're clearly for and with Stephen Harper. That's clear. The National Post, which is absolutely everybody attachment to Kanzik. They brag about a $6 trillion alliance with the Kanzik GDP countries. I have a news flash for you, everybody. My little story I did my live yesterday for all of you. You guys all got a heads up on it. On the vaccine rollout, where Michelle Rempel asks conservatives to help her out with research, which I did. I posted it. I take full credit. My work, my success, I take that. It's all for you. But here's the thing. Bloomberg's writing that story. I just followed up with them early this morning before they put their story. 3 writers from the States, and they're adding that story with the 27 EU countries, the absolute trip and fall on their face of vaccine rollout. And now they're going to be clawing back Canada's vaccines because they beat us by 6 weeks. They beat Justin Trudeau and the Liberals, and I have the manufacturer order dates of everything from Canada and absolutely from the EU. So they're terrified that the 27 countries will start saying, hey, we're going to do our own vaccine roll in future, and that might destabilize the European Union. But of course, it's not going to happen because they're going to take Canada's vaccines. So that's what's happening to us. We're going to get delayed all the way to the summer. We're not getting anywhere near the numbers we were supposed to have. The vast amounts of per person per capita money we borrowed to get that and make that happen seems it was futile. It was actually an absolute waste of money, as by the time we get up to the numbers the government says we need, we're already halfway through the year. So we've been really, really failed by our government and failed by a system that doesn't work. And that's in value chain, something I'm studying largely right now, absolutely in supply chains, and why we needed to manufacture our own products, why we have to decentralize, we have to get away from this ridiculous Kanzik, because I can tell you all right now, and National Post, Conrad Black, the rest of them really attached to CPC, the Conservative Federal Party. You don't think I don't know. I work really hard, tremendously hard with the United States of America, our number one trading partner. You want to brag about a $6 trillion combined GDP of these nations? Where are our supply and value chains for those nations? Stephen Harper, this is specifically for you. Where are those value and supply chains? Where is the tremendous trade advantage by going that route? Because honestly, Albertans, Canadians, I'm telling you right now, National Post, you, those pathetic writers who write in support of the Bank of England and all this great, wonderful stuff, show me the absolute trade rewards by going that way. Because as it is right now, in clear, real economics today, we have a gross negative trade deal with them. We're in a trade deficit. We only have a trade surplus with our number one trading partner, United States of America. And it's kind of monopolized. Absolutely. But whose fault is that? And you're bragging about going out into this European Union, into this Kanzik, these 4-country trade deals, but you do not show how Canada's going to benefit. And you can't say, oh, it's not all about trade balance. If we're in a negative trade position with any nation, that means we're losing. That means somebody is borrowing against the public to secure this stuff. Somebody's getting wealthy at absolutely the expense of the Canadian people, or the province of Alberta, whichever province is going to be utilizing this per what they say. I've already caught the National Post. I did the story 3 months ago with AIM, and you talk about public sector unions, and then all of a sudden we're going to do a deal with a corporation that's going to get all this done through the National Post. And here I trace that company and Kanzik all the way to the Bank of England. You were going to try and trick Alberta into handing over its keys to the Bank of England, going back in time, going right back into colonialism, and absolutely giving up our sovereignty. Who do you people think you are? And if you don't think I don't know, Aaron O'Toole and, you know what, Andrew Scheer, at least he pulled back when he realized I'm in too far. He wants to work within, like so many Conservative MPs. I'm going to fix the party from within. I had a delegate, a Conservative delegate call me. We finally touched base, and no, I'm not going to release her name, but we had a good conversation yesterday. She's taken a step back. She's supposed to write a letter to CPC about how they love Canada to remain as a delegate, and she doesn't even know how to write that letter, asking me for advice. And I said, no, I can't give you that advice. I can't even go forward with the pathetic CPC. And these are the reasons why, everybody. And yes, right now I'm holding back on quite a number of things I've rolled out publicly, which I do all the time, because I got that fishing rod, that line out in the water, and I'm letting them run with it. So we get stories like this. Now, I kind of ran on a tangent there. Like I said, you're all going to see in Bloomberg News, other American media sources on the EU, the vaccine blunder, and how Canada is going to lose a number of its vaccines. Because USA, America first, doesn't matter. Donald Trump, Joe Biden, no elected official is ever going to sacrifice their people's supply of vaccines for Canada. No way, shape, or form. The mighty EU is not going to take a knee for Canada. We're going to be put in third place, everybody. Doesn't matter how much money we put on it. We didn't control the supply chain. We don't control the value chains. And you know what? No Kanzik League deal is ever going to make anything better for us, because there's no trade surplus there for us. Absolutely none. It's about exploitation. It's about controlling financial markets, strengthening foreign financial institutions, foreign powers at the expense of all of you. That's reality. I'm going to tell you something that a lot of great conservatives know. Those elite conservatives, the ones I like to call the physical conservative, these are our best of the best in business, in large corporate, and they've been there. Some of them follow me here. I know they won't chime in, but they sure watch my stuff. They understand the idea of direct trade deals like Alberta should be doing, but our incompetent Jason Kenney, and before that Rachel Notley, absolutely threw it away. And that's creating direct trade deals, state by state with our province. Let the country, they're going to do things that are going to screw us over, but it doesn't stop the idea that we reach out cross-border to individual states, republics, even other countries or regions of other countries. What you can do as a province, given to us in this power of confederation, this is what we have to do. And when premiers come into power and say, you know what, I'm throwing that away, I'm going pure federalist, I like National Post, I like letting Justin Trudeau run it all, I like the idea of a crown power of Governor General through Lieutenant Governors, let the Prime Minister's office run it all. It's one less thing we're going to worry about. That way we can just point the finger at the federal government. That is not how you run a region, not how you run a province. It's never been how Alberta's ever been run before. Before 2015, we never ever did that in Alberta's history. We've been fighting it for the longest time, everybody. And successfully getting ahead with it. Ralph Klein was terrific at it. And even other premiers since him, still, at least they did the work, at least they kept up with it. Rachel Notley scrapped all of it. So did Jason Kenney. He hasn't picked up any torch. You can go on my Alberta. There is no relations interstate or interprovincially on trade. They don't keep up with it. It hasn't been touched for more than 6 years now. No excuse, Jason Kenney. You've been in office for 2 years. You've gone out to Texas. Wow. Oh, I talked to a couple governors. You need to have a whole ministry aimed at this, you dumbbell. Sorry, and people say, oh, you can't criticize. Well, I can criticize when you're killing my people. When you don't follow any kind of rational economics. When we have University of Calgary, University of Alberta, supposed experts, but yet they have no international following whatsoever. No credible experts across any aisles. But yet I can go out there and meet all those people, but I'm not allowed to have any interaction with any of my academia here in Canada, let alone my province. I'm to be, no, keep him away. We are part of the established autocracy machine. Literally academic autocracy. The rest of the world, even communist nations, as closed as they are, aren't even this bad. It is solely and individually the autocracy of our constitutional monarchy. We're screwed, everybody. We're screwed. It's in our institutions, it's in our media, and it's absolutely led by the political party structure here in Canada. Across all aisles. That's reality. And I'm fishing right now. So Lars, if you're there, if you're watching, or you come on later today, don't lose hope. I know what I'm doing. I haven't given up. But sometimes I have to step back and I have to play the game of chess too. And if I use up all my pieces too quickly, I can't get to the finish line. I can't win the game. Just have a little faith that I do know what I'm doing. Don't lose heart. And things aren't as bleak as you think they are. And I don't want to see you do anything rash either. That's another thing. But I hope this was informative today, everybody. Watch for Bloomberg. My research is in there. It's already been handed over to 3 American reporters. That's reality. I got to do that early this morning. It's done. And you're going to see it in news. And you know what? It's pretty bad when our own parliament is hunting and searching to get all this done. And I've already done it. And I'm already out in the States. And they're going to report the story. Pretty sad, right? And I'm blocked entirely in my own country. Just as the interprovincial trade barriers, it is all about autocracy. Our press is toast. Our academic institutions are toast in a large part. I'm not saying all of them, but most of them attached to government are absolutely cut off to the rest of us. But yet I can go out in the world. Russia will talk to me. USA has been so great. I can go out there. I can go out all over the world. Like I said, even in some totalitarians, some oppressive regimes, I can even talk to their academics. I can talk to justices all over the world. A Supreme Court justice in the States. Yet I had one on my whole 4-year period, and it was a former who went politician. Only one from BC, one Supreme Court justice, not even a superior, the Supreme Court of Canada, Superior Court. Still high, but only provincially high. That's as far as I've ever got. In my own country, in my own region, Alberta. Shunned. And I'm not the only one. I'm pretty sure any of you would find the same thing. But yet I go out on the world stage, no problem with any other country. Hey, no problem, Dave, European Union. Hey, no problem. You're a decent guy. But yet my own country, that's absolutely forbidden. That's because we are a constitutional monarchy, an absolute autocracy. It is a first-class system, as is defined by the Titanic. Always has been, always will be. None of us, and none of you count. If you don't play in the first-class society in Canada with that crown on your head, the elite status that you're better than the rest of every other Canadian, you don't play there. You're just a fart in the dark. Sorry, that's it. That's Canada. Way worse than Russia. We are basically a civil law autocracy, the dictatorship. Our party systems define it. Our academics is taken right over with it. And so is our media. That is Canada. That's reality. unlike any of the free world at all. And it's not imposed by the UK. Sure, they would love to get in there if our corrupt politicians will give you a welcome mat door, and all those Kansas countries, they'll come in here and exploit the hell out of you. They will. If you're going to let your government do this to you, they're going to, oh, sure, we'll just walk right over you. You're just like every other despot. That's what Canada is. That's what Governor General is. That's what Lieutenant Governor is. That's what it promises. Just like our dirty, filthy Senate. Lifetime appointments, zero democracy, and absolutely nothing for the people. We the people don't exist in that world. First-class citizens, absolute in that colonial power, absolutely embedded in none other than Prime Minister. All the provincial parties gravitate to it too. Can I have a piece of the crown? Can I be that autocratic authority too? Their party systems are all built exactly the same way. And it all backdoors through lieutenant governors. This is the sick disease called Canada. And that system, that first-class system, doesn't want any of you to get a jump on it. We the people, no way. Boots, squash that bug. We are an absolute autocracy. That's reality. Academically, media, and government, all in one. And a weak justice system that can't even get there. As we go with Governor General Wagner, Saturday, obviously I'm not going to hear. It's the weekend. I haven't heard nothing. The next step probably will be that letter to the Queen. I'm going to let it go. If they appoint a new governor general, and Wagner gets tossed out next week, and I don't get a response, we have our answers, Canadians. And Albertans, everybody, separatists, doesn't matter. Everybody, you have your answer. There is absolutely no aristocracy in Canada. It is absolutely autocracy. We're a despot. We're a civil law, socialist, regime-controlled country. That's what we are. Call it a constitutional monarchy, but we're absolutely ruled by elite parties. 4 federally, 4 people federally, in every province up to 5, but it's more like 3. That's how we are run. Anyone telling you anything otherwise is a bull-faced liar. Zero democracy, it's the illusion of democracy. You're all learning it. CPC puts on the best show of democracy. But at the end of the day, every party is built and empowered the same way. Full-fledged autocracy. It's how you see media paid. It's how you see academics ascend and get their great followings, but yet they have no following worldwide. They're not even on the world stage. Why you suppose that is? That's because of the absolute autocracy. Academic autocracy and absolutely media autocracy. Put into your government full autocracy in a constitutional monarchy that is the illusion of democracy. Crown power, age of empires. And who's wearing that crown? Your absolute prime minister and every premier who plays ball. That's reality. Governor General, Lieutenant Governor, check it out. That's how it works. And you watch media, National Post, absolutely strengthen and bolster it. Absolutely defend the Senate. A sick, gross perversion. And I think I saw Lars pass by there. My power's going to die on my phone. I didn't plug it in, everybody. I will review comments. Lars, I hope you watch the whole thing, and I hope it reaches you. Hang in there, buddy. You've been around a long time, and I don't want to see you. 1, I don't want you in trouble, but 2, have some faith, man. We're going to get there, and I haven't quit, and I'm still going to get there. We just got to do it the right way. Sometimes I have to pull back, too. I'm fishing, my friend. I'm fishing. Thanks, everybody. Have a great Saturday. Now I'm going to go finish what I was supposed to do yesterday and get out to see my girls. Okay, bye now.